What is up, car addicts? So it's been about a week since the Chop Shop DLC release, and I figured I'd make a review giving my thoughts and honest opinions about this update. Now, obviously, I've covered a lot of the content, broken things, bugs, etc., all the drip feed content in previous videos in full detail, but I will briefly go over a lot of it in this review video as well. So firstly, starting off with the day one content of the DLC, we logged in and saw a total of 11 cars on the website, which was very impressive, even though some of them were just old cars that cannot be purchased. We also have a new drift tuning feature, drift races, the new salvage yard business, which features the tow truck missions, the vehicle robberies, which are essentially mini heists, and sadly for some reason Rockstar decided to only allow us to do up to 3 vehicle robberies every event week. This has caused a ton of controversy in the community because there's not really a money grinding aspect to this business, or even if you just want to replay these for fun, you have to wait another event week to do so. It's just a bit ridiculous. And what's even more disappointing is how creative and fun of a business this was for Rockstar to just randomly give it an entire 1 week cooldown. That's just completely uncalled for. But anyways, moving on to the weapons, we only received one for the day one content, and that's the battle rifle. I did a thorough review on this one, but to save you time, it's a pretty below average weapon compared to the other assault rifles, just not all that great. And that's pretty much it for day one content. A pretty substantial amount compared to recent DLCs, and I think Rockstar did a pretty good job in terms of the amount of actual content alone. Now let's discuss some of the day one cars in a bit more detail. The new Gradio Maggio is a pretty solid car, amazing handling and pretty good customization. However, some of the options are miscategorized, and some of them are force linked to others, like the interior color that's force linked to the primary color, which is very annoying. We have the Vapid Illusion, which has a broken passenger headlight. Other than that, it's a pretty simple average SUV. Honestly, not sure if I'm going to end up keeping this one. Continuing, we have the FR36, which is actually a pretty great car. We have the Vigero ZX convertible, which was a bit unnecessary. I don't think anybody really asked for this one. And it does have the broken rear quarter window that doesn't go down when you bring the convertible top down, for those of you who don't know. Plus, the carbon performance skirt option doesn't show on the passenger side for some reason, so this car is a bit broken. Honestly, again, I just didn't see a point in them adding this car, but it is what it is. Next up, Rockstar finally decided to add in a proper, realistic-looking modern Mustang, since the GTX has always looked a bit strange, and Rockstar decided to make this new one, the Dominator GT, only available in a convertible variant for some reason. Just a massive mistake in my opinion, and something the community has been pretty disappointed about, since not everyone likes convertible muscle cars. But anyways, continuing, we have the Karin Vivinite, the minivan. I mean, it's a fun sort of like meme vehicle, but honestly the visual customization really isn't all that great, left a lot to be desired. It's mainly off-road style customization copied over from the Vapid Illusion, which really doesn't make much sense to me. Then we have the Impaler LX, which is a pretty bug standard old sedan. Not really much to say about this one, it feels like a reskin of the Greenwood. And lastly, we have the Astrop GZ, which is another pretty cool vehicle being based on the Toyota Camry and all that, sort of like a fun meme vehicle as well, but the last front bumper option is broken, only showing up in reflections for some reason. Also, Rockstar forgot to add the suspension option for it, which is a real shame considering how high the stock ride height is. And lastly, we have the cop cars. Both Staniers are great. Long-awaited additions as personal vehicles with customization. They've been pretty well received in the community. However, the Riot van doesn't have any customization because it's a Pegasus vehicle, but on the website it literally says it could be customized in the description note. Just a bit misleading, especially when you spend over $3 million on a vehicle like this. Now let's talk about the drip feed content. So we have a new weapon coming for the Christmas event week, which is the Snowball Launcher that should release this Thursday. And of course, I'll be making a review video on that when it releases. Then in terms of the drip feed vehicles, we have 8 vehicles being added, which I made a separate video covering. And there's some great ones in there like the Jeep and the Escalade, the Impala. But anyways, that totals 19 vehicles for this entire update, which is actually pretty impressive, even though a lot of them are old vehicles that can now be purchased and some of them are reskins, but still pretty great overall. Now, as for the rest of the drip feed, we have 2 more vehicle robberies being added, 1 new side mission involving Vincent from the casino update, which is really cool, plus Christmas events, and the new drag race event with manual shifting, etc. But again, I have made a video covering all the drip feed content in full detail if you want to check it out. Overall, if you really think about it, a lot of the cars in this DLC are pretty random, and a lot of the people in the community are speculating that they're just cars probably ported over from GTA 6, which it definitely feels that way, and there's actually proof of this with the upcoming Gauntlet police car that's releasing in the drip feed, which was actually featured in the GTA 6 trailer. So again, I think that's why a lot of the cars in this update feel a bit random. But anyways, we also have a lot of broken items and bugs in this update, which I've made a video thoroughly covering as well. However, Rockstar has fixed some of them via the tunables. For example, the gang attack at the La Puerta Salvage Yard business location that wouldn't let you enter your own property when the gang attack would occur. They actually disabled the gang attack at that location, so that's good. Also, the broken license plate menu issue. This one they sort of fixed, even though it's more of a band-aid fix. So now they only allow you to go up to plate option 22, since it would crash on option 23. So now half your personalized plates are actually hidden, which kind of sucks. So not really a fix, but it is what it is. Now, on a brighter note, Rockstar has introduced a ton of quality of life changes in this DLC that I think were definitely needed to improve the gameplay experience. Again, I also made a video covering this in detail, like the overhaul to the interaction menu, plus the vehicle organization tab and animals and online for current gen as well. So with all that said, we can clearly see that the team at Rockstar who made this DLC are most likely reusing a lot of assets from GTA 6 and then just porting them over to 5 with random interiors, and sadly not really beta testing them at all, which is why so many of these cars are broken. Now, I will admit the new salvage yard business is pretty cool, and the vehicle robbery missions are actually a lot of fun in my personal opinion. However, again, the cooldown of only 3 vehicle robberies per event week is just a very dumb decision from Rockstar for a business that costs $5 million. That's been the biggest controversy from the entire DLC and the biggest letdown for sure. Plus, we also have the new 100-car garage called the Vinewood Club Garage, but it's sadly only available on current gen to players who have a GTA Plus subscription. But even with those few negatives and various bugs, I personally believe this is still one of the best DLCs we've had since the Contract DLC in 2021. And yes, I know that's a big claim to make, but if we look back at previous DLCs in the past 2 years, the Mercenaries update was not all that great. The Drug Wars update was pretty good, but did lack a bit in terms of car content. And the Criminal Enterprises update wasn't all that great either due to the low payout contact missions that were pretty boring. Therefore, I would rate the Chop Shop DLC a solid 7 out of 10. Honestly, if there were less bugs in this update, and the vehicle robberies had a normal cooldown of like 48 minutes, like most things in GTA, and not an entire event week, I probably would have given it a higher score, probably like an 8 or even an 8.5. But again, even with all the strange car choices they made, I truly enjoyed this update, and it did give me a lot of vibes from the Tuners DLC, which is actually one of my favorite DLCs in the entire game, so probably a bit of bias there because I do personally prefer more car-focused updates with a proper creative business attached to it. But as always, guys, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments and how you'd rate this update and if you agree with some of my arguments. Thanks again for watching, guys. Hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.